apparently the crypto industry is not as ethical as private equity, says buyout billionaire Thoma Bravo. Okay. So basically, this gentleman has become a $122 billion giant in recent years and invested $150 million in FTX last year. His firm also has stakes in Anchorage Digital, Falcon X, Figment, TRM Labs, but is now pausing investments on crypto companies because in a recent interview, he said some business practices he sees don't rise to the level of ethics that we're all used to in private equity with your investors and your customers community. I understand that 100%. I can get that. Crypto is a very new industry. It's very immature. A lot of the VCs out there are not real VCs, and they may not have the proper ethics nor manners to operate as one. However, I will say though, crypto is a newer industry, and I want to give the people in crypto a little bit more credit because crypto is supposed to be more transparent. I feel like private equity is not as transparent as crypto is. That's just my personal opinion. I am going to toss this over to Will for his thoughts.
I'll give it to Zach first, and then I'll take this one away from you.
Okay.
The only one who deserves credit here on this piece is Kay Wiggins of the Financial Times. If you read this piece, there's just a smirk dripping off of every line here because it seems to suggest that this guy has a big-time case of sour grapes after being down bad on some investments that he aped into probably toward the top of the market. So credit to Kay Wiggins for structuring this story in such a way as to suggest that without outright saying it. That's my doff of the cap as a news nerd. Thank you. That's fantastic. That's all I got to say here. Because if you look at the way this is structured,
sexy again.
It's like it tells the story without telling the story. If you just kind of go through this guy's journey through some of these investments as it relates to crypto, but as it relates to SPACs, other vehicles that have suffered here in this recent broader bear market. So I think this paints a really interesting picture of some sophisticated investors who are also feeling that pain and sort of making these statements as a way to save face a little bit. But that was just my reading of the subtext. I could be completely wrong, but I'm curious for Will's thoughts.
We need to get like an editorial wipe for Zach, editorial corner, get his take on all the news angles that us plebs are just not going to see. Appreciate your industry knowledge here. Yeah, this article is pretty interesting. And from someone who's been in the industry, it's like, oh, wow, congrats. Like you're down 70% plus like everybody else. No one else is really shocked by that. Everyone who aped into this market has to feel a little pain at some point because not everything's going to go up. It is interesting, these things like they want to continue to invest in FTX and a few other brands that have done well, and for good reason, right? FTX has cleaned up. And I think the ethics argument here you can safely put on the side and say, that doesn't really matter too much. I think they care more about making money just like everyone else. And so, yes, ethics matter. Yes, you want to work with ethical people. But I think they care more about making money. And that's how the article is structured as well, right? If you look at the very end, they have a nice little kicker talking about how software is the best investment going into inflationary period because you're able to increase the amount of labor you have just by condensing it within software. Why are they finishing the article with that sort of topic? Well, because it's all about making money at the end of the day. It's not about ethics. That being said, crypto is pretty slimy. We'll start off the day talking about Do Kwon running away from Interpol. So no one's disagreeing that crypto is slimy. I'll throw it back to you, Zach.
I wish David Morris was on this call because I think he is the most well-articulated person on markets being amoral, not immoral or moral, but amoral, right? If there are things to exploit in markets, participants will do so. That may ultimately be the unwinding of Luna and other things in the market, right? If there is a weakness to be identified, you can believe that some market actor who stands to benefit because of that will do so. So I think that is sort of the nature of the markets here. I think, morality is one thing, ethics is another. Should there be ethical markets? Yes, there should be ethical markets. So I don't want to discount his claim entirely. But I think also what this is alluding to is sort of the amorality of markets and their current pain that they are inflicting on people who have a lot of money invested in this present moment. So I think the fact that this is Thoma Bravo drawing back a little bit, sort of retreating to the safety of Bitcoin and to some established brands like FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried kind of stands out here from this piece. Jen, I'm going to toss it to you. We got to get you in here on the final word. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Wendy and Zach. You said a lot of what I was going to say. I think this is kind of an opportunistic way to display this statement. I think the industry is so young. Of course, we see these headlines that tell us crypto industry, some things that are happening in the crypto industry are maybe not as ethical as we would like the story we started the show off with. But there are a lot of ethical people in this industry who are at the very early stages of building something that will be more established much later on from now. And so I think it's always a good reminder to know that there is no firm in this industry that is that established kind of corporation that we are used to, and we need to remember that when we're looking at statements like this. But yeah.